Jai Gurudev everybody, so welcome again to Shripita Nilaya. So like I was saying earlier, today is Good Friday. Somebody wrote to me today, asked me a question Friday when they crucified somebody and they crucified Jesus, you know. So actually it is, why they call it Good Friday is because it is on this day that the Master have taken upon himself as a sacrifice, you know, all the negativity of his disciple and the people. And as a sacrifice, he absorbed it inside of himself and free them. This is actually one thing that all the great saints and sages, all the sadhus and the gurus have been doing through thousands of years actually. It is done in an unknowing way from the people. And this is what the life of a master is. The master's life is to redeem their disciple and make them awake to that divine consciousness. So they call it good because it is on this day that this sacrifice happened. And it's a self-sacrifice. You know, a master do so much sacrifice for their disciple or devotees, you know, that very often the devotee doesn't realize that. Because they see the Master don't long for recognition, don't long for, oh yes, I'm doing all these things, you know. Very often, you see, there is so many kind of master in this world, you know, but many just do it as recognition. You know, oh yes, you know, you have to be happy, you have to be that. They will make fun of everybody else. No, but actually, a true master do this sacrifice unknown to anybody, even unknown to his own disciples itself. So, being grateful that such a master have done, that's why the people call the day which Jesus crucified as Good Friday, because he willingly gave himself as a sacrifice, absorbing all this negativity within himself and transforming his disciple. So that's why it is called Good Friday. And also one thing is that some people are asking how we will celebrate Easter and so on, you know. But actually, you know, this is a time, you know, where maybe 2000 years Jesus have been making people realize that, look, it's not in the outside, it is in the inside. I want to be resurrected, I want to be awake from inside of you. So meditate upon what he have taught now, the way of love, you know, the way of surrender to the will of God. See it in yourself. He didn't say that you have to run behind him. No, you have to transform yourself like him. So becoming like him and awake. Don't be dormant. As long as you are asleep, you will perceive this world as something which is terrible. But once you are awake, you will perceive it completely different. So I'll ask Jagopal to ask a question.
Recently we heard about Likhita Japa, writing the divine names, and that it should be done only with the blessing of the Satguru and his instructions. Could you tell us more about this sadhana's practice, benefits and challenges?
Actually, in Likhita Japa there is no challenges. You know, it's just a challenge is that your hand can get tired, your finger start paining. But actually it is one of the nicest way of doing japam. This is true. Writing the divine names, it is, when somebody writes something, it gets imprinted more into the mind. The same thing when you're doing japam, very often I always see people say, oh, I keep chanting always, wherever I go. It's true, it is very important to chant the name of God wherever you are, whatever you are doing. But to have that focus, you see, our mind is in such a state that the mind always jumps from one thought to the other, from one thing to the other. And our mind, you see, our visual captivates certain things. And this stay as impregnant as an image inside of ourselves. Maybe you're not aware of it, but it's play upon like an old recording inside of your mind. So when you do japam, firstly I will explain about with the japamala. It creates a certain focus upon, you see, this movement that you are doing. It is, all these are power point upon your finger. And these power point, you are pressing upon it. And it is reacting upon certain element. It is reacting upon your focus actually. So you're doing this movement, you're pressing upon these, so it is increasing the focus upon the divine name, what you are focusing upon. So Likhita Japam, Likhita means to write. So very often when you, before, I'm not talking now it's just this tick, 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 tick. But before, people when they used to write, that get imprinted inside of your brain. That's why you see people who used to write had more focus, more concentration. And their faculty, the brain faculty, were much more than nowadays. So writing is very important. So when you write, you're even more focused than when you're doing japam. So that's why, you see, because of the understanding, it is very important to understand. Likhita Japam is not just say, okay, I'm just writing the name of Lord, that's it. No, you have to understand that by writing the name of the Lord, that writing itself is the Lord Himself. You're writing His name, and His name and Him is no different. So knowing clearly that while you're writing that notebook, become a temple. That notebook is not just a normal notebook which you can just take it and put it somewhere else, left, right, No. That's why it said the blessing of the Guru must be there. The explanation why you are doing Likhita Japam must be there also. But this notebook, what you have write the divine name into it, it is the Lord Himself. And you can't just put Him everywhere. You have to treasure this. So writing the divine names, it is even more powerful because it increases your capacity of focusing. It increases the capacity of your concentration. So if you have the blessing of doing Likhita Japam, do it. But note one thing, that this, again, this notebook, what you are writing, is the Lord Himself. Each name is very powerful. So treasure it. Whenever we build a temple, this notebook normally is placed inside under the deities when the construction is happening. So inside where the deities is being put, underneath these books, these notebooks is being placed. There is certain temple which they have places where you can just go there and drop that book yourself. But don't just put it everywhere, because there is no difference between the name of the Lord and Himself. So knowing that, you may write the divine name and treasure it. So.
Jai Gurudev Guruji, I am a 10-year-old girl and I would like to know why Mother Earth is so beautiful and giving, and yet we keep disrespecting and destroying her.
Look, my dear, it's a beautiful question. Being 10 years old, you see clearly how much have your mother even ever asked you something in return for what she does? No. A mother always gives, you know. No matter how the child is, the mother always cares for the child. Mother have a deep understanding of her children. And she don't react upon that. But us human must also realize, you know, what can we give to her? How can we contribute to her? Very often we take everything what she gave for granted. And we goes on, not only one life, life after life, not realizing that we are destroying something which is given freely. You know, often it's like this, you know, when we get things for free, we take it for granted. You know, everything that people have get it for free, they have taken it for granted because they think that yes, it is for free. We will always exploit it. We will always take. We can just take whatever. We think only of ourselves, you know, in a greedy way. So that's why, you know, it is important to care for her. That's why at the beginning of the year itself, I ask everybody to plant trees. You know? This was what I asked. To contribute even a little towards Mother Earth itself. You know how many trees, you know, have been cut. You know how many forests have been burned for the greediness of man. But yet the Mother bear everything. Yeah. How grateful one should be, really, you know. You know, when Lord Rama went to the forest, you know, so Lord Rama have one brother called Bharat. So everybody said, okay, Rama have gone now to the forest. You know, so please, Bharat, you sit on the throne of Ayodhya. Brother Bharat was folded hands and said, how can I sit on that throne of Ayodhya? If I do that, even Mother Earth will not have the capacity of bearing such a hypocrite like me. Then they said, why are you saying that, you know? There have been so many demons, king, who have tried to destroy Mother Earth, Hiranyakashipu and so on, you know. But yet, she didn't react, you know, upon how they are. But why, when you, who is the brother of Rama, sit on this, she will be offended, you know. So then Bharat said, look, Mother Earth knows that they are demon. Hiranyakashipu and so on, they were demon. But yet, she bear them, because this is the nature of it. But me, being the brother of Rama, if I act in such a demon way, it even worse. And it is true. You see, human beings have forget their true nature, their divine self, and they are acting worse than a demon. Because demons have a certain principle in their life also. But when we look at human, where is this principle in human life? So, firstly, we have to see what can we contribute to Mother Earth. First, we have to realize that we are human beings. We are endowed with love and compassion. And that is two things that can change everything. If we have love, we have compassion, we will care for Mother Earth. We will care for the nature. We will start to look at ourselves, you know. And this is very important. And the mother, she patiently bears everything. It's up to us to realize whether we make that burden upon her stronger or lighter. And this depends on each individual. We can't ask people to do that when we ourselves don't. No, first we have to transform that inside of us. We have to look at ourselves. So.
Dear Guruji, some of our devotee friends get very excited in correcting other people. How can we stay spiritual and not become religious zealots? Is it anybody else's business to intervene in our paths other than the Guru and the Swamis?
That's true. Often I have this kind of question. You see, one thing is very human. You see, very often people read a little bit and they think that they are very knowledgeable. And thus they will go on length trying to explain, you know, oh, you know, whatever path, you know, whatever you are doing, pointing fingers to other devotees, you know. But you see, one finger when you point towards other devotees, there is four which is pointed, there's three which is pointed towards you. So they don't realize that what they are doing is wrong, because whatever inside of their mind, due to their pride, they think that whatever they do is right. They think that this little knowledge that they have, they know everything. You know, nowadays people think that, oh, if I'm doing some courses, or if I'm doing this study or that study, I'm better than everybody else. You know, I know more than them. I have to teach everybody, and everybody have to listen to me. You know, it comes to devotees also. You see, among devotees, you see, they will say, "Yeah, I know better than you. You better listen to me." No, look, we are doing everything to give the same knowledge to everybody. You know, and if you're clever, you will study this knowledge. Then we will see that your path, you should know it. You know, what is on your path. You can't expect somebody else to come, even friends or whatever, telling you about your path. You have to be strong and know your path strictly to answer them. You know, not in a bad way, but for them to understand. But this is my path. I know what I'm doing according to my Guru, my Guru order, and my through what Guru have given. You know, as sadhana, I'm just doing what my Guru is telling me. So it's not about you coming and telling me that what my Guru have said is wrong. So it's the same thing. Imagine you will do that to your friend. What will be their reaction? You see, in this world you have many people. You see, they are very knowledgeable. They have done, like I said, They have studied the scriptures and so on, but they have just studied the scriptures only to know certain things. They don't live what the scripture really tell them. And this is mostly this kind of people who like to go around, because they say if they will live what the scripture told them, there will no need to go around telling people. They will find that in everything, it is this, everybody to their own pace toward the Supreme Lord Himself. You know, chapter 7, verse 19 of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna explained that clearly. You know, he said, look, the wise, you know, through many lives of cultivation of knowledge, you know, the wise come to me. They know that everything is only me. There is nothing that exists without me. Just imagine that Bhagavan Krishna said that, you know. Through many lives of cultivation of knowledge, the wise one come to me, you know. So it didn't say that only those who have this knowledge, they come to me now, you know. It is a whole journey through lives that they have come to that point. For you to be now a devotee itself, do you think it just come like that? No, Bhagwan don't reveal Himself just like that. Out of His mercy, His grace, through lives of connection with Him, through lives that you have longed for Him, for lives of penance and sadhana, that in this life He have again revealed Himself to you. So it is not just one life to the other. No, it is an endless lives that you have. But He said again, those who endowed with knowledge, who is wise. Here I'm not talking about scripture knowledge only, you know, but knowledge of who you truly are. That knowledge of the self. Those who have this longing for lives and lives, you see, they educate themselves through lives and life. Education means they have this deep awakening to know more about him. You see, more you know about somebody, more your relation to that person either increase or decrease. Here we are talking about the Supreme Lord Himself. No? So more you get to know about Him. Why do you think He said continuously, meditate upon? You know, the Guru said, meditate upon the Leela of the Lord. Is to get to know Him more and more. So through lives after life, one have built up this knowledge, and this knowledge doesn't disappear with one life. It's go and store itself in your consciousness. And next life, you carry on again. That awake again, that feeling of knowing, awake again inside of you. And it is a continuation, moving towards realizing firstly who you are and really aiming for that supreme goal, which is the Supreme Lord Himself. So it's not just one life, it is this increase of love towards Him made Him reveal Himself. It is like, you see, you are walking, let's say you go and walk on the way. As you're walking, you find something shiny, you know, just a normal stone, but it looks beautiful. You pick it up. In your mind, you think that this is just a normal stone. And you value, okay, maybe this, you know, costs like just a stone, you know, 10 euros, nothing else. You like it. You keep it. That is your value. So one day you decide, okay, let me ask somebody who is expert in stone. And that person will look at the stone, shiny, nicely. Yeah, of course, their knowledge is more, no? And he said, okay, that cost 1,000 euro. So what happened inside of your feeling? There is, there is a surcharge, there is a certain feeling. And what happened? That 10 euro which I was thinking now value is 1,000 euro. There's an interest. Together with that interest, there's a curiosity. Together with that curiosity, there is also the love for that thing's increase, for that stone increase. Imagine an even greater expert come, tell you, oh, let me see this stone that you have. And as the person look at the stone, he nearly faint. Which you consider a stone, actually it is a diamond. So imagine now he tell you that this 1,000 euro stone, which the jeweler, simple jeweler have tell you, that expert is telling you that this stone costs 100,000. What happened to you? Maybe not only they will fall, but you also start falling down. So, you see, to observe now from 1,000 to 100,000, what is your feeling inside of you? Of course, your interest into that stone grew bigger. Together with interest, that love for that stone, which you have seen, which were 10, you were expecting to be 10 euro at the beginning when you found it. And then here, you see that this stone costs 100,000. Of course, your love will be amazing. So like that, you see, more you have knowledge about the Supreme Lord, more your interest grow inside of Him. More that love also will grow. So more the love grow inside of you. That knowledge without love is useless. So the same thing when Bhagavan Krishna said, those which is endowed with knowledge, it's not just superficial knowledge. It is knowledge with a longing for Him. That knowledge which make me long for Him. That knowledge which awake that love inside of me. And that love which is making me surrender to Him. And Bhagavan said, those who have that know that it is only me which is in everything. Now, everything is just me. There's nothing else than me. So, you see, when your knowledge increases, you get to that perfection, to say, yes, I know it. That's it. And what Guru has given me, or Guru have given to others to give, according to your path, according to where you have to hold upon that word of the Guru, not about somebody else. People will come, you don't need to argue with them, you don't need to fight with them. But take the word of your Guru, not somebody else.
Jacob, is worrying about and giving attention to other people a part of the unconditional love that we have to develop?
Worrying and?
Worrying and giving attention to other people.
Well, when you worry, you can't say it's unconditional love. When you're worrying, you're not helping the people, and you're not helping yourself, firstly. So, firstly, coming on the point I will ask you, why are you worrying? If your aim is unconditional love, what is unconditional love? Unconditional love is trusting, not worrying. Trust your path, You trust in Giridhariji's love and protection, so there's nothing to worry about. He takes care of everything. So where is your trust? When you worry, do you think there is trust in it? No, there is not. Worry is a sign that you don't trust. So you should not worry about it, about things. And the second is, Jagopal?
Giving attention to them.
Giving attention, worrying and giving attention. So these two probably don't go together, Let's say somebody needs help, okay? And you want to help that person, but you start to worry. Do you think you will be able to help that person? You will never be able to help that person, because you are yourself not in a capacity of helping, because you are worrying. So if you worry, you will never be able to help somebody else. So if you want to help somebody, be free of worry. And like you said, unconditional love. Unconditional love doesn't fall into a space of worrying about. You are here to give, you give. And people need help. If you know that person truly needs help, help the people. As much as you can help people. But trust that whatever you're doing, the Lord is with you. Bhagwan is with you. He's standing next to you. So you don't need to worry about it. You have to do it out of joy, out of happiness. Because whatever you do out of happiness and joy, it bears a different kind of fruit. But if you do something out of worry, and then there is not, oh, I'm worried whether this will work or not, it will never work. Because that confidence is not there that it will work. You're worried about it. So even giving attention, do you think that will help the people? No, it will not help anybody. Actually, it will increase your fear more inside of you. So surrender everything to the feet of the Lord. Do everything, whatever you do, do it with an attitude that you are serving God. And if you don't have that attitude while you are doing it, at night when you are sleeping, just close your eyes and offer it to Him. Say, Krishna Arpanamastu. Offer your day to Him. Everything that you have done, good and not good. So simple act, But yet, very often people find it so difficult. Because they think that, oh yeah, how can I offer whatever I have done, during the day, whether it was good or not good, to the Lord? No, He don't bother about it. You bother about it because you feel guilty about it. But in reality, He don't bother about it. So, if you really want to do everything with an attitude of surrender, start to think that whatever you do, Giridhariji is standing next to you. He loved that actually, And He loved, whenever you do something in a most simple way, It have not to be complicated, because you see, very often we like to complicate our life. And yet, what he find great joy, actually, it is only in the most simple way, simple and easy. When we say we love Him, we do everything for Him, it is out of this simplicity that He finds great joy, Not in the big extravaganza, big big drama and show that very often people think, we must do something huge for God to love us. We must do something immense. No, it's not. In the little thing that you do, if you remember Him, He will appreciate that much more. Then there's this beautiful story of, in the Ramayana, there was a boatman called Kevat. It's such a beautiful story. You see, when Ram and Sita was banished from the kingdom, so they reached to the forest. And when they needed to cross over to the other side, they had to cross the Ganges to go to the other side. So there was a man called Guha. He was in charge of all the boats, and he knew that Ram, Sita and Lakshman had been banished. And when he saw them coming, he was in great joy and happiness to serve Rama. So as he was looking for a boat to carry Ram and Sita to the other side, he looked and he saw on the other side, Kevat was disembarking some people to the other side of the Ganges. And he called him, "Oh Kevat, come, take the load on your boat to cross to the other side." So Kevat came. And as Kevat came, he got down from his boat and bowed down to Sri Ram. And he was so happy, So then Guha said, "Kevat, you take Sri Ram to the other side." And Kevat said, "That will be my great pleasure, my Lord, That will be my everything." So, but he said, "I have one request. I would like, before he stepped into my boat, I would like to wash his feet." So Guha said, "Why? Let him sit in your boat and you wash his feet in your boat." I said, "No." So he started insisting with Guha. Guha was a bit stubborn and angry. Why? So then Kevat started explaining. He said, "Please, I have heard while you were coming, the dust of your feet have touched a stone, and that stone had..." But you know one thing, my Lord, this boat is made of many pieces of wood. And I have only one boat, and I have only this as my work. I can't really, it's very difficult for me to meet the end, So if your dust of your feet will touch this boat, how will I handle? Each piece of the boat will transform into a woman. I can't handle this household. With such an innocent, he said to the Lord, "Please let me wash their feet." And Sri Ram accepted that devotion and that sincere, innocent devotion that he had. He allowed him to wash his feet. And after washing his feet, he placed his hand under the feet. He asked the Lord to place his feet on his hand while going into the boat. So like that, all his sin, which he had from previous life, all got washed. Such a simple act. So Bhagwan have entered the boat. Kevat took him to the other side. While reaching the other side, Sita Devi took out one of her ring and handed it over to Ram and signaled Ram to give it to him as payment. So Sri Ram took the ring from Sita and said, "Brother, we have only this, we can pay you." At that moment, Kevat said, "How can I accept, anything from you? How can I accept a payment from you?" I said, "Why?" I said, "Look, how can I accept the payment we do the same kind of profession. A barber, when he cut the hair of another barber, he doesn't charge for it. And he said, a washman, when he washed the clothes of another washman, he never charged. So Ram said, "But how can we be the same? You are a boatman and I." At that moment, Kevat said, "Yes, I'm a boatman. I ferried people from one side to the other. But you are also a boatman. You ferried one from one life to the Bhavasagar, to cross over the ocean of samsara. Seeing that innocent, seeing that love, Lord Ram opened his arm and embraced Kevat and said, "You shall, all your life, you're free from all sin now, and from now on, there will be no other life for you. So you are free from the cycle of birth and death." Yeah. So, seeing that, you see, in such a simple act of Kevat, he was not very educated, He was a boatman, but he recognized, whatever he do. He asked Lord Rama, "Please give me endless devotion to your lotus feet." So Ram blessed him and said, "But after this life, you shall reside always with me." So imagine what a grace and blessing in a simple act of service to Bhagwan, have given him. So if you make the Lord himself the aim of every action of your life, no matter what you do, you think about him, he shall be with you, at all time, So, yesterday I forgot to say something to you. While I was sitting for meditation yesterday, there was one mantra which Bhagwan have given me. And this mantra, he asked, that you all can chant, do one mala about it. So the mantra is, Shri Vitthal Giridhari Parabrahmane Namaha. So again I repeat, Shri Vitthal Giridhari Parabrahmane Namaha. So what it means, my obedience to the Supreme Lord, Vitthal, which is the refuge and protection of everyone. So, You can chant this mantra. Jai Gurudev.